Because we look at this story and say that was back then, but it can happen right now because now God uses his vessels. But it's up to you to believe the word of God and his word. It takes you to believe. It takes you to believe. When you believe and another believe with you, then God got to be in the midst of it. As he believed in the man of God and God believed in God, they came together. We both believe in a true and a living God. So I'm going to trust God at his word that he's speaking through you to tell me, not yet. Doctors, nurses, and everybody else, specialists kept on calling them. You need to get in here. You need to get in here. You won't die if you don't get in here. He said, not yet. Ooh, my. It takes faith, y'all. It takes faith. My Bishop Ramsey say all the time, money in the earth realm makes things happen. But faith in the spirit realm makes things happen. The money that you use in the earth realm is just like the faith in the spirit realm. You can't make things happen in the spirit realm if you don't have faith. If you don't have faith, you can't make things happen in the spirit realm. We can't even please God without faith. If you don't believe me, read Hebrews 11 and 6. Without faith, it's impossible to please the Lord. Then he said, he that cometh to God must first believe that he is a rewarder to those that diligently seek him. He that cometh to God, that diligently seek him. Diligently seek him. But we got to have faith to please God. I just want to please God. I just want to please God. We'll have faith. That's what he told us. At his word. He said, if you want to please me, just have faith. He said, because it's impossible to please me if you don't have faith. We make this thing so hard when he tells us in his word. He said, just trust me at my word. When you trust me at my word, then I can do some things. But when you don't trust me at my word, then you make me back away. He said, but I still see you. What makes me operate in your life is your faith. It's your trust and belief in a true and a living God. You don't have to have a dime, but as long as you have some faith, you can get anything in this world, y'all. Anything with your faith. With your faith, you can move mountains. Figuratively. With your faith, you can get a job without degrees. With your faith, you can get houses without money. Because some way or another, God's going to allow the money to come. I don't know how it's going to happen, God, but I know you're going to make a way out of no way. I don't know how it's going to happen, God. I know you're going to make a way. Yes, yes. You told me to have faith and trust in you and to speak it and believe it. So, God, I'm going to do just as you say. I'm going to trust you at your word. My. You told me to let the sick say I'm well. So, when the sickness and the affliction come on me, I'm going to trust you at your word. Because you told me to just trust you and say that I am healed. So, okay, I'm healed. By your stripes, Lord, I am healed. Because I'm going to trust you. You better come on here. I'm going to trust you at your word. This text is telling to teach us today, y'all, that the disciples that he have told before to go be fishermen of men, they didn't take Jesus at his word at first because they as me. He told him before. He told Peter before to go be fishermen of men. And he didn't do it. He reverted back to being fishermen of fishes. Y'all catch that in a minute. We pick it up. Jesus was preaching. He was on the shore of Galilee. He was on the shore of Galilee at the lake of Gennesaret. He was preaching to a great crowd. He seen two empty boats. Peter, James, and John had just came in from fishing. They were cleaning their nets. Didn't get a bite or anything. Remember, they were seasoned fishermen. Didn't get anything. When Jesus seen their boat empty, he said, you know what? Because the crowd is right up on me, I want this great crowd to be able to hear this word. So Jesus seen these empty boats. So he asked Peter, can I use your boat? And I need you to push me offshore a little bit so I can speak to this great crowd. So as he pushed them into the lake so he can talk to this great crowd, he used this. He used this water. Thank you, Bishop. He used this water as a megaphone so the people can hear. All right. As he was speaking to the great crowd, and he used this water as a megaphone so they can hear him, because they ain't have no mic or nothing like we're using right now. And so now he gets this boat and he talks to, he preaches and teaches to this great crowd. So after he gets done, now he comes to Peter. He said, I'm not going to use something of yours and don't bless you. You can't be God-given, no matter how you try. People will say, I'm not giving all these tithes. I got $5,000 for my income tax. I'm not giving no $500 in no tithe. They don't need my tithes. These my tithes. I got all this money on my check. I'm not giving no tithes. I'm not giving no offering. You cannot be God-given. I don't care how much you try. I don't care how much you give. I don't care the service that you render. You cannot be God-given. Because what you have, God gave it to you. Yes, Lord. So when you try to be stingy with God, God's going to be stingy with you. We got to understand, y'all, who we serve. We got to understand, we got to trust him at his word. He said, because when you give your tithes and your offering, he said, now what I'm going to do, because you test me. Because he told us to test me. He said, test me and prove me and see when I open up a window of heaven that'll pour you out a blessing that you will not have room enough to receive. He said, trust me at my word. Y'all better hear this morning, y'all. Because you're going to trust me at my word, Peter. You let me get in your boat and you push me off so I can talk to the people. He said, because you're going to trust me at my word. He said, this is what I want you to do. He said, I know you a fisherman. I know I'm a carpenter. I know you don't, like, what do you know about being a fisherman, carpenter? That's like a cook trying to tell a landscaper how to do the landscaping. That's like a landscaper trying to tell the cook how to do the cooking. So Peter, like, we going ahead right now. Peter, like, okay, I'm going to trust you at your word. I remember when you told me to go be fishermen of men. So, you know, I'm looking at you, I'm seeing what's going on. with you, Jesus. I know you've been healing the sick, been raising the dead. So, okay, Jesus, I'm going to trust you at your word. So Jesus tells him, he said, throw out your net to the deep. Now, Peter, like, I can imagine. I can imagine. Peter, like, come on, man. Come on, Jesus.
All right.
It's broad daylight. The fish can see the net.
All right.
And you telling me to throw out my net? Why am I going to throw out my net in broad daylight so they can see it? They ain't going to go into the net. But Peter forgot that Jesus made the fish.
All right.
He didn't say go, oh. He didn't say, listen at this, y'all. He didn't say go to the shallow. He told Peter exactly where to go. That brings me to the point of Proverbs, the 3rd chapter, and the 5th and 6th verse. Lean not to your own understanding.
All right now. Come on now.
Come on.
He said, don't lean to your own understanding. Your understanding says that they will see the net and they won't go into it because it's broad daylight. Your understanding is saying that this won't happen. But he says, acknowledge him in all your ways. Now he will direct your path. So now he said, okay, you are directing the path. He said, go to the deep. Go to the deep. Sometimes we got to go to the deep, y'all. We can't go to the shallow. Because when you go to the shallow, you're not showing him any kind of faith and trust. He said, but I want you to go out there. He said, put me out there. He said, are you going to put me out there? Are you going to be like the 3 Hebrew boys and put me out there? Just because you're going through the fiery furnace, just because you're going through trials and tribulation that seem like no hope is there, are you going to put me out there? Are you going to trust me at my word? Whoo, good God from on high. He said, go out into the deep. This is what Jesus would do. He would tell us where to go. All we got to do is trust him at his word. So Peter went out into the deep. He said, okay, Lord. Since this is what you said, he said, I'm gonna throw out my neck and I'm gonna trust you at your word. He said, because now look, Jesus, he said, because we worked all night. King James Version said he toiled all night. We worked all night long. We ain't get nothing. We just got done washing it. Now we got to get it back out and do this. All right, Jesus, I'm going to trust you at your word. Come on, y'all. I can imagine how Peter was because, you know, Peter was something else when he was with Jesus. You remember how he cut off the ear? Because Peter was a warrior. He was a rebel. Old cussing Peter, as they call him. So I can imagine that, you know, he kind of questioned him. Come on, man. We've been out there all night. But I'm going to trust you at your word. I'm going to trust you at your word. I remember when I started working down in Dayton at the Honda plant. And so, as a regular floor worker, that I was only there for 2 months. 2 months. A supervision job came up. I put in for it. I just moved to Dayton. I put in for this job, this supervision job, after just being at Honda for